the thing that's radically different about the Trump approach is how willing he is to use trade, not just for issues to do with the American domestic electorate. So, like saying, actually, we need for political stability to reshore industrially to some extent anyway. It's the fact that he's willing to use trade as a geopolitical weapon across a whole set of issues. And you can see that obviously in relation to Canada, um, where it was tied quite explicitly to the earlier rhetoric about really how Canada shouldn't exist as far as he was concerned as an independent state. And you can see it now in at least the public justification that's being used for the extra 25% tariffs on India in terms of Russia selling or India purchasing oil from Russia, a couple of million barrels a day. And Trump is also pretty clearly willing to play divide and rule where this is concerned. I think like the way that Britain was effectively offered a trade agreement before the European Union was he uses it in ways that are sort of disruptive in some sense for their own sake. So do I think that there's any kind of strategic rationale or domestic politics rationale for that side of it? I'm not really convinced by it. I can see that there's a little bit more continuity than some liberals would like to think. Having said that, I think that it's not really realistic, I think, to think that there's going to be any American president for the foreseeable future who's going to say, look, que sera, sera, if you like, in terms of economic outcomes from China's approach to trade and manufacturing production. China's just far too an important economy and too seismic in its consequences now, I think, for any American president to take that approach. And again, it doesn't mean to say there won't be all kinds of downsides to the way that this issue is then dealt with. But I just think it's politically unrealistic to think that it would go away under another president.